Let's see if this ball hangs on and stays in the back level. That's a nice play.
Little smile.
And little does she know, that's one of the closest shots for birdie that we have seen.
Jutanagarn for birdie. And you were part of that Chevron Championship coverage, Morgan, where that was a wild finish to that one.
Five-way playoff. Aria had that championship all but wrapped up neatly. Made a mess of 18.
Whiffed a shot, ended up in a playoff, and Mao Saigo won the title.
Now from 44 yards. Also flighted down, looking for that big first bounce. An effective play also.
A couple of good birdie looks there.
Now, how much, Bones, were they paying attention to the group ahead of them?
I think they saw that 3 from Schmelzel and said, I don't want any kind of putt of length here.
Back over at the 5th, Lopez Chicada.
Down the hill, going to try and hole one from long range. And it's a quick one we saw earlier in the round, so that one going to be back up the hill the other way. And back over to 15.
Where Nelly Corda drove the green here with a 3-wood. He has a chance to pay it off big time for Eagle.
Going through her process right now, this putt back uphill into a pretty stiff breeze at the moment. It's going to move from her left to right in the first 2/3 and then straighten up.
Been one eagle here today. You talked about it earlier, Morgan, by Norquist. This from 61.5 feet.
And as you mentioned, Dan, a little unlucky on that bounce on the tee shot there. If that ball would have carried one more yard, it might have released very close to the flagstick. Just asking Shibuno to move her marker.
She's said, especially early in the round, struggled a little bit with the speed on her putting. This is a really important one to dial in. It's a tricky one to nail the speed.
We got to stay committed to this one.
Actually, it was Maria Jose Marin who made that lone eagle at this hole earlier.
And that's just a massive misread.
Back at 16 for Stark on the tee. One back with a 6-iron.
She likes to hit a fade, so let's start this well left. With the wind off the left as well. Smart play right there.
To the 5th.
Yeah, Lopez Chicada for the par back up the hill. Coming off a senior year at Wake Forest. Yeah, very talented family. Her brother, a winner on the DP World Tour.
T-ball on the way for Schmelzel at 16.
Yeah, second day in a row, this hole is in the back upper portion.
There you go.
Maybe a nice quick rebound after the last hole.
Yeah, she needs to see something go in. Right about now would be a good start.
Back over to 15 for Shibuno's birdie try.
Sliding to the right in the first half.
Just didn't move as much as she thought.
What we've seen though today, take part, run
Absolutely.
here on 14 or 15, excuse me.
So Saigo will have a chance. Got a pretty good look there, Bones.
Certainly did. Going through her aim point process. Over with her caddy, Jeff. There's not a whole lot in it from this angle.
it's kind of fooled some players' bones because it is so subtle, just like we saw from Hanako. Tough to tell exactly what you almost want to read something into it.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's a good opportunity.
And she missed it on the other side of the hole.
Yep.
Some
Talking
more
about
coming back.
Yep, talking about this grind bones. This final group teed off at 11:40. It's now just past 4:40 now, so they have been on the course for 5 hours, and they still have 3 more holes left. So
Had a really long wait on the second tee to start the day, and then of course here on 15 as well.
boy, you drive the green here. You don't want a 3-putt par.
Give Nelly a lot of credit, as frustrating as that opening 9 must have been for her. She's been very talkative out here, great headspace, just being patient, knowing that she can potentially make birdies in bunches and waiting for that to happen.
She talking to her fellow competitors, or just her caddy Jason, or you, Bones, a little bit?
We talked a little bit about Oakmont and a couple other things.
Okay.
She went there a number of years ago when the ladies played that venue and watched her sister Jessica play.
That is 2 in a row for Korda. And all of a sudden, Nelly is to 3 under, just 4 back.
That looked like a really good confident stroke right there, Dan. Almost walked it in.
She was 6 back not too long ago, so Nelly Korda having it come back to her here on these final few holes. In the meantime, over at 16, Stark looking over this birdie attempt.
She had Sarah Schmelzel move her ball mark 2 to the left, so Sarah will be paying close attention to this as well, but this has right to left movement. Morgan putting back up towards the bunkers. Well, I guess there's bunkers all around the screen pretty much.
There are. It's a beautifully designed hole visually from the tee. Well protected, long, narrow green, but good place to putt from. You always like to be below the hole, and the greens are right at about 13 on the stip meter.
Played about a foot of break.
Played it perfectly. And Maya Stark is tied for the lead at the U.S. Women's Open late on a Saturday.
Just smart play off the tee. Didn't get too aggressive to this left hole location. Left it below the hole.
Fiery, determined, and Maya Stark has one of the steadiest rounds out here today. 1 bogey at the 3rd hole, and just dropped in her 3rd birdie of the day to tie Mao Saigo, who's got this coming back for par. So now she's got company at 7 under in the 25-year-old from Sweden. Here's what we were talking about, Morgan. It's hard to explain, but you move a hole up that far and you end up having it just be flip-flopped as far as difficulty goes.
It's really the whole location. Round 1 and today we're in that back right section. So nobody wanting to take it on, nobody wanting to be too aggressive. Today with it drivable, we saw all sorts of trouble.
No, trying to match Stark with a birdie, not to be. Plenty left coming back. Let's go back over to the other side, the par 3 6th, and Lopez Chicada.
Another player not able to hold this green, but nice shot there. That's a good place. Being long, chipping back up the hill.
Teed off on the 10th again in this split tee format for this Saturday because of the weather. Back at 16, and a good opportunity here for Schmelzel.
Can she shake off those misses? You have to, as a competitor, you just have to be in the here and now and keep believing that what you have is good enough, and that's the mantra that was played by over the last couple years. Stop searching and just believe.
She loves courses like this, Kay, where it's a grinder's paradise, so she thrives in that moment. Doesn't matter how ugly it is, just have to get it done. Trying to dig deep. I can see a little bit of that frustration starting to come out for Sarah.
17.
Yeah, good drive here by Lynn Grant. She's a really good drive with the golf ball. Second shot, see the flag there with where she's driven it down on the right side.
We haven't seen too many players with such a clear view of this 17th flag stick. That was a beautiful tee shot. Unfortunately, not able to take advantage of it.
Let's go to 6 in the amateur for the par.
Just run up the hill here. After making that wonderful save on the last hole for par, that one's going to hurt. This was a more straightforward putt.
Back at 16, par cleanup here for no.
Strikes look like a bug, maybe. It's not the easiest putt she has here. Has to split the left edge.
Nothing like a U.S. Women's Open slider. And I don't mean burger.
Safely into par is no. Remains 5 back. And the co-leaders, Saigo of Japan, Stark from Sweden. Lopez Ramirez of Spain is right in there in the clubhouse, still leading the way there with that sensational 68. And now Korda taking a look at this par 3 16th, ranking.
Dan, she's got 6-iron from 176. Left to right wind. Not a comfortable shot for a right-handed player.
No bones, but with that left hole location will be similar to the shot that she hit on 13 so beautifully. Started right, draw it up into the wind a little bit.
Time to draw this one. Well right of the flag.
Should funnel around a little bit.
Yes, it will.
All right, looks good from here.
Looking for 3 in a row.
Smile to her face. Finally, it's been a grind. Hanako Shibuno is next.
5 hybrid. Just get loose. It's been a while since these guys have taken a full swing.
There's the whole location, deep down in that green. 5 off the left.
That wind up the left very well protects this whole location. That bunker just short and left of the flag stick. Just have to be right at that TV tower.
Oh, this is left. Up in the mound in the spectators potentially. No, it's short of them.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be an adventure. That is short-sided, brutal lie, well below her feet, out of the hay.
Lynn Grant for a birdie at the 17th. Golf course playing to an average of 75.36. It's almost 2 shots more than yesterday.
Well, Saigo missed a lot of greens early, but then has cleaned things up. Look at those green check marks. Every green in regulation from 7 on.
This on a super line, just right of the flag.
And this is another beauty by Saigo.
Look how softly that landed with that hybrid. Just the height that she's able to play, a little bit of a fade.
Since this round has taken longer than we anticipated, we're going to be finishing up this 3rd round over on Golf Channel. A lot of time will be running out at the top of the hour on NBC. So just a programming note.
Maya Stark on the tee at the 17th. Kind of a straightaway hole, as you can see from the target there. This one down the right side. And going to finish up close to where Lynn Grant drove it.
All right, been a long day as we mentioned, co-leaders right now, but let's take a look at some of the earlier highlights presented by Rolex. Rio Takeda, second at the fourth. Takeda is in at 5 under after her 2 under 70. Good rising player. Beauty there by Takeda. After she started off with an eagle at the first, birdie there got her to 6 under. Quarta for par at the par 5 7th. And that was kind of the story for Nelly. 4 bogeys in the first 9 holes. In the meantime, Maya Stark, as we mentioned, one of the steadiest rounds of the day by anyone. Second at the 10th as she made the turn after going out at even par 36. Birdie that to get to 6 under. And then Julia Lopez Ramirez, the 22-year-old from Spain, for birdie at 6. She started off with an eagle. Birdies at 7, 12. That one at 16, part of her 4 under round 68. And then the first major champion of the year, when it looked like she was falling out of it, she has steadied herself on the second 9 after going out at 38. Birdie there at the 12 to get to 7 under where she stands right now. And then Hanako Shibuno, second at the par 5 14th. This was coming off bogeys at 9 and 11. Like she might do a little fade, but uses the slow, wild 14th green at the par 5. And ends up with a 2-putt birdie to get to 5 under. And then just the latest to get to 7 under, Maya Stark at the 16th. From 21 feet. And Stark with a 2 under round going with 2 holes left to play. Our championship recap brought to you by Rolex. Shibuno at the 16th.
Well below her feet, trying to play it up against the bank. This is a terrific shot.
That might not look like a bone, but that's a highlight of the day right there.
Yeah, I was thinking 30 feet would be special, and that's 18, 12, actually 12, 15 feet from the hole.
I mean, the ball is almost 2 feet below the level of her feet right here. Look at that.
But the only good thing about it, and there wasn't anything good about it, it was the lie was decent. She was able to get the club on it, but everything else was a 9 out of 10 on a degree of difficulty.
This would be up and down to the century if she could make this one. Wow, that was pretty cool.
All right, so she's got a shot at par. Nelly Mouse Saigo cracks at birdies here at this par 316. And here's how they arrive. We will play after Saigo's attempt here from 15 feet.
Both Saigo and Quarta with great looks here. Mouse putt is just going to turn gently from right to left the entire way.
Reminder coming up at the top of the hour. Running out of our allotted time here on NBC, but be switching over to Golf Channel to continue our coverage of this third round. Mouse Saigo was the 36-hole leader by 3. A lot has happened since, but this to break out of the pack with Stark once again. Just a tad too high. The tap-in par will be for Saigo. Continues her 1 under march on this second 9. And now Nelly Quarta will have a chance for 3 in a row to get within 3. But we're going to take a quick look at a couple pages of the leaderboard before we head over to Golf Channel. Continue the coverage with Nelly and company. Quarta with a makeable birdie putt at 16th. Saigo just pars the 16th. Stark coming off a birdie there to tie her. Lopez Ramirez still the leader in the clubhouse at 6 under. Rio Takeda has just finished. NG Lee in there at 3 under. Schmelzel still working the golf course. And the rest of the players under par in the U.S. Open, presented by Ally. As again, we've come to the end of our allotted time. The rest of today's coverage, as we mentioned, can be seen on Golf Channel. And a reminder that coming up next, except on the West Coast, it is your local news right here on NBC. So we'll see you in just a few moments on Golf Channel, continuing coverage of the 80th U.S. Women's Open, where Saigo would start tied at 7 under, and Nelly Korda with a birdie putt coming up at 16 to get within 3 in the greatest championship they play at Erin Hills.
And she's in an ideal position on the right-hand side of this fairway. Great angle to the back left hole location. Do not want to go past the flag.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players err on the side of caution, come up a little shy, Kay.
I'm starting at the left side of the green, trying to cut it, and it's not really cutting enough.
Yes, it's going to have a little bit of a ridge there to deal with. Not as severe as you will see on other parts of this golf course as we go back to the 16th.
And a moment ago, Shibuno for what would be an unbelievable par.
Putting right up the top of the green, walks it in. Oh, man. How to get away with a tee shot like that. What a poor shot off the tee, but wow.
She's pretty psyched. Stays 2 back. Now Nelly Korda to get within 3.
She's looked more confident with this club the last few holes. 2 hards, just a little bit. Kind of felt like that was really going to be the putt. That goes in. Propels her back towards the top of the leaderboard heading into tomorrow. Still a couple holes left, couple opportunities.
So hard to get momentum on the day like today. Nobody's made 3 birdies in a row all day. So that was a chance for Nelly to do something that no golfer has done today. As we go back to the 7th, Lopez Chicata again on the other side. The amateur in the chase for low am. Also from Spain, where Lopez Ramirez hails from. So Spain represented nicely here this week.
Has to be some inspiration for her as well.
And with that, we'll update the amateur leaderboard. You've got the 16-year-old in at +1, Lottie Woad, the #1 ranked amateur in the world, at +2, but it's Lopez Chicata who currently leads the way among the 6 amateurs of the 26 who started this championship.
Let's look at the 17th. The tee moved 1 box forward, and Nelly Korda is down there on the tee.
Driver into a left to right wind. This is tugged a little bit. It's going to need a good first bounce.
She was watching that anxiously, but it'll be okay. It'll be blinds.
If you miss it on the left side, scoring average is 5. It's a par 4, of course. And then if you miss it on the right side, 4.74. So basically, if you find the fairway, it's going to save you a shot. If you miss the fairway, you are really struggling. But the fairways are generous here at Erin Hills. Shibuno now on the tee.
Coming off a ridiculous up and down.
Set up a little bit open with her shoulders there.
And this is indeed up the right side.
Overcompensated a little bit and got underneath it, but that'll be a good angle. She doesn't have a coach. She doesn't work with anybody currently.
It's quite unusual that there aren't many players that you'll find without a coach. How about that? Not missed a fairway today. Missed a few greens in the early stages, but then has hit every single green since the 7th. So she's been very steady since that somewhat rocky start